Update. My dad heard me moaning and thinks I'm gay. What the fuck do I do? TD. LR, all is good. Might die of embarrassment but we're all good. Currently in my girlfriend's lap and waiting to stop being tipsy from the copious amount of fucking mimosas she gave me earlier. First of all, you guys had some great advice. I did laugh a lot at some of it and do appreciate the genuine help most of you guys gave. I was still actively losing my shit as I wrote the initial post, so for the sake of clarity, here's details I left out. 1. I was saying some stuff when we were doing the do, and upon further reflection it was pretty obvious he heard that rather than just noises. 2. My dad and I share tools and he has full reign to walk in my house and borrow them when he needs them. 3. He's supposed to call ahead if I'm home, but if I'm not, he can just go. My car was in the garage, it usually isn't, so he just assumed I was out. It's no one's fault that he walked in when he did, just shitty luck. 4. Yes, the oranges he was bringing me at the time were very good. 5. My dad and I are very close, he is not a creep, and he doesn't care if his kids are gay. Don't insult him. Otherwise. Please stop making me think about my parents having sex and whoever DM'd me and told me that kinks are hereditary. Thanks for the trivia, but I hope you choke on a Ritz cracker like I did last night because that shit hurt and you deserve it. So. The update. Today was Sunday breakfast with the fam. Upon your advice, I cornered my dad after breakfast and ushered him into the shed, and using the kick-ass wording I got from "Can you guess who I am" in the initial post, I said, basically, "Dad, I know you sat me down a bit ago and told me it was okay if I was gay but not if I was cheating, and I need you to know it really was just me and less than GF's name. If you trust me, we can leave it at that, but you don't, I will tell you exactly what we were doing. I'm warning you though, that's not a bell you can unring." This motherfucker looks at me with the most guileless look and goes, "Then who the hell was yelling less than disgusting thing I said that sounds homo out of context and I don't want to write?" And then, from outside the shed, I hear my asshole girlfriend start fucking howling. Howling. With laughter. She had followed to ask where I left her purse and came right on that. I was still suffering from the second-hand embarrassment of my dad repeating some of our bedroom dirty talk into his straightforward monotone, so she took over and confirmed, "That was your son." And then it got worse. Because my dad was significant other confused. He was so confused. So he asked fucking questions. And my girlfriend answered them, with my horrified approval, as I sat down and contemplated suicide. And then one of my fucking brothers came out to check on us because of the commotion and got the memo. So now, because my brother can't shut the fuck up, my whole family knows what pegging is. My brothers and one sister are mercilessly ribbing me. I had entirely too many mimosas, and I'm googling how much a fake ID and passport costs. Thanks for your advice everyone. It all turned out okay in every regard except for the massive impact to my shame budget. Also, my dad will now be calling ahead every time he wants to come in to borrow a tool to make sure I'm not home. I will recover my pride with time, but until then, girlfriend's lap it is. Thank you again, and have a good day. I am not. Link to initial post. Lol. I read your initial post but had no advice to offer that hadn't been covered. Glad you have a good family and sorry you're the current butt of the joke. Dude, you're actually hilarious. 10 out of 10 on writing style. Bahahahaha, best update ever. Best. Update.n. Sunday. Family. Breakfast. Ever. Your girl sounds like a keeper too. Oof. I'm glad it slightly worked out for you. Mon, I wasn't even looking for the original post, but I'm glad this came across my feed. This is the best update to anything ever. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard at something like this. My stomach physically hurts. Tears of joy, tears of joy. Context. Am I, 23 female, overreacting about my partner, 25 male, social media and what he chooses to upload? I have been with my partner 2 years and through these times we have gone on many trips and have had cool experiences, so we naturally took many pictures. I love sharing my life and my partner is part of that, so it's super natural for me to upload pictures of our adventures and us having fun. Flash forward to earlier today, after uploading a picture of us happy as can be in front of a glacier, I see my partner's Insta post on my timeline and it's also a photo of our Antarctic expedition, but it's one of the photos he's in by himself. I thought about how much he claimed to like the photo of us I uploaded, so I thought it was interesting he uploaded that one instead. That's when I go to his page and notice something for the first time. My partner has never uploaded a picture of us on his Instagram. They are all pictures of our trips, but the ones where he's alone, the ones I took of him. He even went far as cropping me out of some, and I know because I have copies of the same photos, but where I am on the other side of the railing or across the table, things like that. It might seem crazy that I barely noticed this after 2 years, but my social media habits are as follows. Log on after a trip or special day, upload fav photo, interact with family and friends on said post, catch up on what they have posted since I last logged on, and then log out. I know about my partner's Instagram and we follow each other, but I have never paid much attention. Update. 40 minutes after initially drafting this post, I just noticed he isn't following me. When I notice, he is right across from me eating, and at first I think it's kind of funny. I tell him, you know what I just noticed? You don't have any pictures of us on Instagram, none of us together. In the most casual way, and if he would have replied, oh shit haha yeah, that really would have been the end of it. But his reply was instead to frown and ask me if I was being serious, while pushing his plate away from him. Defense mode activated. This defensiveness punched me in the face because I was not expecting it, at all. So in that millisecond I decided, wait, this is a serious to me now, and I responded with, yes, why is that? What followed next was him shaking his head at me, ranting, going on about not being able to believe how superficial I was being and that this changed his perception of me and he never thought I was one of these people. Ones who care about shallow things like social media and what he posts. When I tell you rant, I mean it felt like the man had a proper speech prepared in case this topic came up, like he properly thought it up before. All of this was very unsettling to me, and because I didn't like how hurtful he was being, particularly with the whole, I didn't think you were like this, now I know you are, shit, I decided to leave and cool down. I spent the whole day by myself doing errands and then helping a friend with moving. I am staying with said friend today, partly because it's easier for the other moving-related things we have to do in the morning, and partly because I don't want to come home until I know if I am valid or not looking at things the right way. I am hoping to reflect with your help. I don't want to get lost in the noise. No, you're right. His defensiveness is actually what makes this all wrong. Giving an explanation as to why that is completely fine. So why is he so defensive? I think there's more to it than this. Has there been a pattern of behavior? Like, has he shown abusive tendencies, gaslighting, or manipulation? Sounds like he has gone to some lengths to curate a single man's image for his account. And you're right, his immediate defensiveness and scripted rant are very unsettling. This cat wants to look single on IG for some reason. Because he doesn't see it lasting? Because he wants other women to think he's single? Why else get so defensive about it? Fishy, sorry to say. He's not as invested in your relationship for the long haul. He's keeping his options open. Sorry op. It was the cropping you out of pictures for me. That's just deliberately trying to make himself appear a certain way, and his reaction surely didn't help. So when I told my partner I was sad he didn't have any pictures of us on his social media, his reaction was drastically different to this. He said he hadn't really thought about it, didn't know it bothered me, and asked me to help him look for a cute picture to post. He'll still tell you he doesn't really understand why it matters to me, because to him it doesn't. But since it doesn't matter to him and just posting a picture would make me feel more included in his life, he tried to take my feelings into account and work with it. I feel like your partner's reaction isn't a caring one. He's not responding in a way that makes me feel like you're a team and you work out solutions together. That would hurt my feelings too, and I don't think you're overreacting. That's a severe overreaction on his part over a simple observation you had. A person with no ill intent would have casually given an answer back or perhaps given an explanation. But he chose to activate all of the defenses straight away and go on the offense. There's something bigger to this whole thing. Do his friends and family know he is with you? I wonder if he goes around telling people and acting as though he is single. Most normal people in relationships won't go out of their way to make their partner absent from their social medias, unless asked. Going out of his way to specifically crop you out of pictures is just flat out weird. What followed next was him shaking his head at me, ranting, going on about. And after all that ranting, did he actually answer your question as to why not? Or was it just bluster to deflect from your perfectly valid question? This is clearly a purposeful course of action, meaning there is a reason for it, yet he doesn't want to simply tell you what that is. My F17 girlfriend, F18, has plans of starting an OV. How do I tell her it makes me uneasy? Apologies in advance if this post is all over the place, rambling. I have never posted in this subreddit before, and it's also currently late at night where I live, Midwest USA. Me and my girlfriend have been together for roughly 6 months now. We just recently graduated high school together, even though it was from different schools. For the most part, I'd say our relationship is near perfect. Sure, we may have our occasional bickering moments with each other, but we have yet to deal with a serious argument between us. I love her a lot, she's a beautiful, fantastic person to be around and we can laugh together for hours on end. One thing me and my girlfriend definitely have in common are our political and moral beliefs. You could definitely say we are pretty liberal people, and we share many of the same opinions on controversial topics that get brought up through time. For example, sex work. Like her, I see absolutely no issue with sex work, and believe that it is just as much of a real job as any other and deserves the same respects. However, I know it's not for me whatsoever. I have only been active with one other person, before my girlfriend, and I have also always been the type of person who could never participate in a threesome, due to a combination of trauma mixed with some confusing jealousy-insecurity combo. I'm guessing you may be starting to see where I'm headed with this. Of course, I want to support my girlfriend's wishes. I would hate being that person who tells their significant other what they can or cannot do. But at the same time, it's honestly breaking my heart every time she brings it up, and I don't exactly know why. I think I might just be a protective. I wish there were better words for this shit. Person who doesn't really want to share their significant other with the world. So knowing that people could go online and pay to see her in a not safe for work way really makes me feel weird. On multiple occasions she has also expressed how she wants a lot people to be attracted to her and want to have sex with her. This also added to the sting. It almost makes me feel like I'm not as special to her in a way, no matter how cheesy that may sound. I truly wish I had a clearer explanation as to why I feel so shaken by this whole situation. It's just as confusing to me as it probably sounds to you reading this. I guess I'm just looking for some advice on where to go from here. How do I initiate this conversation without sounding like I'm unsupportive of her? What should I be even trying to get from the conversation in the first place? Again, apologies if this needs any more info. I'm typing this at almost midnight because I just need to get it off my chest and I don't know who else to turn to currently. I don't want to mess up a beautiful relationship I have with an amazing person over me being uncomfortable with her choices. I'm just disturbed that so many 17-year-old girls these days tend to have this same attitude as her and all want to be sugar babies and of porn models before they're even legal. It's concerning. It's her body, but you're also in a relationship. If you're not comfortable with your significant other putting themselves out like that, then communicate that with her. Communication is key. Certain boundaries have to be discussed. I would be far more worried about her desire for a lot of people to be attracted to her and want to have sex with her. That attitude seems far more dangerous to a monogamous relationship than an of account. You state you could never participate in a threesome, and it honestly sounds like your girlfriend has a gangbang fantasy she legitimately wants to explore. I would have a heart-to-heart about monogamy and how far she wants to take her desire. It doesn't sound like you've told her any of this. She can't read your mind. Tell her what you said here. I think your explanation is very clear. You respect her autonomy and know you can't tell her what to do, but it makes you uncomfortable, for the reasons listed above. There are lots of things that people are allowed to do, but their significant other would be uncomfortable with them actually doing. You are not controlling for having preferences. And keeping your opinion on this to yourself if she opens one will just lead to negative feelings in your relationship down the road. I'm afraid you're about to learn the hard way that SW is not just like any other job. I mean, it has great potential to be detrimental in various ways to the well-being and relationships of the workers as well as those around them. Physical danger is a true concern even in case of online services, but the main worry in my eyes is that it changes how the worker views oneself and other people sooner rather than later, and not for the better. It is really not for everyone. Hey, please don't post hardcore porn of yourself online. I think it violates the monogamy, intimacy and meaning in our relationship. If you want to be an amateur porn star, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Absolutely fucking insane that we live in an age where actual adults have to have these conversations with one another. The tail is wagging the fucking dog. Don't mean to sound harsh, but this is the best and most concise way I can put it. She's not yours, it's just your turn. Enjoy the ride while you're on it and keep an eye out for when to jump off. Have a straight conversation with her. State your boundaries in the relationship. If sex work and breaks the boundaries, then you move on. Worth ending loving relationship over baguette crumbs? Obviously there's more to it than the title suggests. I, 31F, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, 24F, for around 2 years. We're supposed to be getting married next year. When things are good with us, they're amazing, the happiest relationship I've ever been in, and she's so supportive and we just laugh all the time. She really is my best friend. The primary thing that causes problems for us is mess. She is a whirlwind of untidiness. I work full-time from home and spend hours of cleaning most days just clearing up after her. Meanwhile, she works a couple of hours a day in the afternoon and sleeps all day until she leaves. She does help out from time to time and has been making more of an effort, but she would never take the initiative to just do something, she always has to be told. There are wider implications for the lack of her being proactive. At the beginning of our relationship, she rescued a dog and surprised me with it. I had zero desire for a dog at the time, and this one, crazy pitbull, was a lot of work. I have looked after and trained her as best I could, but I am sometimes resentful of her lack of effort considering it was her decision to get the dog. Prior to a recent argument, I'd been asking her to call the vet for 3 days because the dog had a UTI and got a, "Yes, I'll definitely do it later." She didn't. We have talked about this countless times. Things get better for a while and slowly slip back to normal. I am just starting to feel so underappreciated. It all came to a head a few days ago. The night before, I asked her to please make sure the surfaces are totally clean in the kitchen because it's cockroach season and we had a serious problem with it last year that was a nightmare. I said if it's a mess in the morning I'll be seriously mad. I woke up the following day and she's made herself a baguette in the middle of the night, left the bread out, plastic right next to it, and all the crumbs were all over the surface. Your Honor, I lost it. I told her I'd had enough, I was done. I can't take waking up every morning and having to clear up after someone. I want a partner, not a child. I said some things. You're basically my father, lazy, incapable of doing anything for anyone. My tone was harsh, but I don't think I said anything I don't really feel. She didn't say a word. She cleaned the whole house, packed a bag and went to her mom's. She's not talking to me at all. I need perspective. Even after 3 days I miss her so damn much. But I don't feel like this problem can be resolved after trying so many times. I can't imagine my life without her, but I can't imagine having to baby someone for the rest of my life. We wanted to have kids in the next couple of years, and this problem would only increase tenfold. Help. That's something someone has to learn themselves, usually by living alone for a while, and learning they're the only person who is going to clean their stuff. But anyway, 1. It sounds like she already dumped you. 2. You really don't sound happy at all in the relationship. And it's okay not to when they won't clean up after themselves. That's an okay boundary to have for a partner. 3. If you're not happy in it, do not have kids. I want a partner, not a child. So you decided to date a 22-year-old when you were 29. That holds up. But I don't feel like this problem can be resolved after trying so many times. I can't imagine my life without her, but I can't imagine having to baby someone for the rest of my life. You know, you're talking a lot like someone who dumped someone when really you were the one dumped. You don't really have a choice in the matter at this point. It's reasonable to miss the good things, but lazy people never ever change. You could not have continued to live this way. She is who she is. Being fun and loving her might not be enough. It's soul-crushing to live with a lazy person. I live with a lazy person. It has never gotten better. My house is a pigsty and I had to choose between having a life and a dirty house versus having a clean house but spending all my time cleaning up after him. What happens when you have children? My partner undermined all the good habits I wanted to instill in my children. He undermined all routines. He gave them permission to be as lazy as he is, and he left me to pick up the mess. Write a diary entry of everything you couldn't stand about the mess, and reread it often. Does your partner have ADHD? I'm 39 years old and was recently diagnosed, and it was missed my whole life. Reading what you said about your girlfriend reminds me of myself. I am impulsive, get tired a lot. I'm a whirlwind, struggle with keeping things clean, forget conversations and agreements easily. The key question here is, does your girlfriend care about your feelings? Does she want to help out around the house? Does she want to be in an equal relationship? If yes, then maybe she has an undiagnosed condition. Maybe she needs some help getting a routine in order or a chore checklist. Can you help her get started? If she just doesn't care at all, then maybe it's a compatibility issue and you probably need to sit down and set some boundaries with her and vice versa if you want to be together. That age gap explains everything. Date people your age and that shit won't happen as much. Absolutely insane that I have to even type of the same comment with this frequency. 99.9% of relationships with an age gap of equals 4 years fail horribly. Lol, the title sounds like a Seinfeld episode. As someone who cannot function when there's a mess around, it doesn't sound like you're compatible at all. Honestly, she sounds lazy and irresponsible, and you're right about the kid, but because you're taking care of all the adult responsibilities. For me, it would be worth ending the relationship. You aren't ending it over baguette crumbs. As you said, it all came to a head when this happened. So this is the last straw. I'd have ended it over the vet appointment.